Yep. I think that's good. I like that. All right. Gentlemen, we are recording. You're being recorded for the annals of history. Do ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So, how's it going?
Another fantastic week.
Hi, another fantastic week. One for the fans here. The OF2F, the flagship, if you will.
Of the Fanbased Network.
Yeah, the Fanbased Network. This is kind of our, for those that are new and just joining us, kind of our variety show. We talk about a little bit of everything.
It's just like a variety show.
Comics, a little nerdom, video games, sci-fi.
Less sketches and live music.
A lot of plate spinning that you can't see, but it's really good.
Yeah. This is like the hub.
Yeah, well, why don't we just kick it off instead of the usual?
What do you think? 10 minutes of banter.
You want to give it the kickoff?
Yes.
All right.
What do you feel like?
Well, then say it, dude.
The OFTF starts now.
Willkommen. It's one for the fans on the Fanbased Network. Tonight, Justin P-Train Peterson will have his knowledge tested once again in a Stump the P-Train section. And Master of Ceremonies, LTG, will titillate and tempt your mind buds on One for the Fans.
Hello, everybody. One for the fans. Welcome.
Hello.
I'm LTG. That disembodied voice was P-Train Peterson.
Hi.
HS Fish and Chip. The boy who lived.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
True or false? Are you the son of HS Fish and Chip, the founder of H Salt Fish Chip?
HMS.
True or false?
Petticoat
False.
Junction.
False.
Wrong. True.
Okay.
True or false? Are you the boy who
I was
lived?
already stumped. No, I'm not.
Wrong.
Are
True.
you saying you're dead?
Oh, well, I am a boy who lived.
On the other side here, we have our producer, engineer, guest emeritus, Justin Lane.
Hi, how you doing?
Woohoo!
He's the guy that makes our ship float.
Yeah. Wait, ship
Our
float?
our flagship.
Yeah.
Okay, ship float. Okay.
Yeah, with a P.
Okay, good.
P is in Pelican.
P is in P-Train.
P is in penguin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So what's up, guys? Hello.
I don't know.
Nothing much. Nothing much.
Before we get into our usuals, I'd like to take a moment to say thank you for the people who have been listening. I'd also like to say that we all here at the Fanbased Network love doing this podcast because we like to geek out, nerd out over all this stuff that we talk about, and we know you do too, and largely this is why we do it for you guys, so you can interact with us.
That's why we call it One for the Fans.
Exactly. And we would like some help. When you listen, if you like it, tell us. Say, hey, great job. If you have questions, let us know. When we do versus segments, we do those for you so you can chime in and give your opinions as well. And if you don't like it, still,
troll
feel
us.
free, troll us. Or suggestions about something that we could do that you think you would like to hear, or us to be clear about something. A little bit later, we had someone who came in with a comment, and we're going to get to that.
Yeah, we're going to address that a little bit later.
And we'd like more of that, because as much as we love talking about this stuff, we do it so we get interaction and get a whole community talking about it. So it enriches the show. It adds more, so we're just not sitting here talking to what we feel is each other, which is fine. We do that all the time, but we're also doing it for you guys. So I'm sorry, I won't rant anymore.
That was beautiful.
But for those who are listening, thank you very much. Just talk it out.
Yeah, come on, people.
Don't make
Shape
me come
up.
find you.
Shape up.
I'll reach through the internet.
All right.
Yeah.
let's get into some.
Let's talk about some stuff.
Let's talk about some stuff. What's happening, Peterson? Let's take it over to you. What's going on out there, nerding?
Okay, so casting news.
Sure, go for it.
All right. Well, I mean, this isn't really casting as much as it is just a return. Like, Lady Sif will be returning to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in an upcoming episode.
She is played by
Jamie Alexander.
And
she was on an episode last season, and it was awesome. It was like the one with the biggest scope, kind of, in terms of...
Well, Lorelai.
Yeah, Lorelai was the villain. They also kind of teased that there will be some kind of major villain that she's there to fight.
Oh, yeah, this is the body slam.
The body slamming, yeah, whatever.
I made my guess already, but unless they bring in someone new, I think Crusher Creel gets out.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, they did talk about... or what I heard is there's going to be a new Inhuman introduced. So it could be
this young kid who he got cast. I'm not familiar with the actor, but
you aren't familiar with it. Wow.
Oh no, I know actually he was on Tomorrow People, I believe, which was all.
At least you knew
so I know something about him.
Use your X powers.
But
he wasn't on any T-Mobile ads or
no, nothing like that. No.
Or Wendy's ads.
P-Train is.
I don't know. I knew I would. I know the spicy Wendy.
Oh my goodness!
Maybe I should turn down your mics. Relax.
No, I'm geeked out right now.
Full on.
So Jamie Alexander has reprised her role in all the movies that she's been in.
I mean, she was in Thor 1 originally. She was in Thor: The Dark World, and she was on an episode called Yes Men of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. last season.
Cool, that's exciting. One of my more favorite female comic characters, Sif.
Okay.
The Lady Sif.
And then another bit of casting over on The Flash. Emily Kinney, who plays Beth on The Walking Dead, she, spoiler alert, was recently killed off on that show. And she has been cast on The Flash as the Bug-Eyed Bandit, who is actually...
Oh, come on.
It's a ridiculous character from the comics.
Really?
And,
they're doing that?
Mm-hmm. And it's a gender bend casting, too, because in the comics he's a dude, but Emily Kinney clearly isn't. The character's name in the comics is Bertram Larvin, and he makes robotic bugs.
Right,
Larvin. He controls... Get it?
Gee, cute.
Get it? Yeah. It's one of those. It's one of those Silver Age characters like Golden Glider and
that's right. Golden Glider's happening.
But yeah, so her name will be Brie Larvin in the show.
Okay.
But I like that actress, and
Camembert Larvin.
It's fun to have her on the Flash. I guess I'm not sure she'll be.
I'm all about one thing with the Flash.
We'll get.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We'll get to that.
I know we will. Oh, we will.
Do a little teaser.
No. I'm ready.
Yeah, and then other than that, it's not really new news, but Justice League: Rise of Atlantis, the movie is now available for rent.
Well, that's the newest one.
Yeah,
right?
The newest one in the DC animated movie.
You haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Well, when we watch
we'll talk about it probably next week or something. I think that's all.
Got any? There's some D&D news, isn't there?
What?
Is there? What's the news?
Oh, you're talking about the
new campaign,
the Elemental Evil.
They for D&D 5.0.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys want to touch?
Well,
on
that's a classic module. We used to call that a module. Mm-hmm. Return to the Temple of Elemental Evil. That's right there with the lair of the Kuatoa and White Plume Mountains and all that. We're talking keep beyond the borderlands. This is old school. That's a good sign. That's a good sign if they're doing that and they're going back to basics.
Yeah.
This is the newest edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
This is D&D 5th edition. I have to confess I'm not familiar with it yet. I am.
But we're going to be playing
a traditionalist. Yeah, we're going to start.
Tell us about that.
Well, we're going to do a sidekick in the upcoming weeks where we actually do a rolling ceremony for our characters.
Now, do you want to explain
what that means?
The ultimate geekdom. Well, rolling ceremony, or do you want to wait? And
seeing as how I'm going to be the DM, can I?
Yeah,
can I really,
I would.
It's a sacred. It's a sacred rite of passage.
Yeah.
It is nerdy.
At the beginning of a campaign,
but
at the beginning of a character's life,
right.
We will sit down and we will roll sacred dice and record with sacred pencils on sacred paper numbers from 3 to 18.
our
determining the
scores.
abilities. Now the question is, will we be going strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma, or will we be going strength,
We don't know.
dexterity,
I'm not sure what-
constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma? I don't know what order we're going to go in.
I'm not sure what the mechanic they use is in
Well,
5th
we'll
edition,
find
but
out.
We're going to find
It's
out.
very similar.
Yeah.
But we no longer have to calculate THACO, which is good.
And we also have
That's
the-
2-hit armor class 0.
And you also get introduced to the the Dungeon Master's house rules.
That's
about how
right.
to-
For instance, my house rule as DM is, there's different rolling mechanics. You have the roll 5, take the best out of 3, take the best 3. You have the roll. It depends on how
And the point
high,
buyback system
yeah,
and stuff like that.
spend 2, get 1. We'll see. It's going to be very exciting. Also, you'll hear a lot of junk food getting crunched on.
and just a lot of
Sacred-
I get
sacred junk
hyperactive
food.
when this
Sacred
happens,
junk food.
So I'm gonna be very animated. Our producer,
Actually, LTG gets a little testy. He's like, "Leave me alone. I'm reading assassin spells."
our producer also is one of the better DMs I've ever had.
Oh, well, thank you.
He's a writer in his own trade, so he does fantastic campaign settings. But he's a stickler
I am a stickler.
about making
stickler.
sure that each character has a bio.
Oh yeah.
And
No,
their
you have to have a
background.
backstory. You have to have a backstory. This
so
is no.
We might do a two-parter. We're gonna do the rolling ceremony, but then once we have our numbers and we try to figure out what class we're gonna play, we then go away, create characters, create stories, the whole role-playing element, and then we return and he approves of the story, fixes it up, and we'll have that also as well. So maybe we'll do a two-parter.
Because I like every character and every player to have their own little niche and something special for
like
them.
a
and that-
story
Yeah.
quest
Right.
for it that's
Yeah.
particular to them.
So you'll see the rolling ceremony, you'll see us generate the characters, and then we'll come back and then we'll reveal the names, a brief
Yeah.
history of each, so you all get to see the whole process
Right.
of
Yeah.
one of my favorite games of all time.
Maybe we'll even, I will will invariably draw a map for my homebrew. Maybe we'll post that in the comment
Awesome.
section.
That'd be
Post
great.
the map.
Can we not have names that are similar to actors in real life, though?
Oh, you're referring to? I tend to every once in a while throw some levity in
Harrison
there.
of the Fjord.
Harrison
or
of the
whatever.
Ford, who would say things like, "Yeah," and of course I had Jeffers of the Golden Blossom, who was
Oh yeah,
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Enough of that.
You need to get into the keep.
There is one criticism I will say about your DMing,
What?
and we'll get right to the other stuff, folks.
What is it? What is the criticism?
You're not really big on making sure that people are washing themselves, that their ammo is there, that they have food, that.
No, and I'll
Kinda
tell
let
you,
some things slip.
ammo. I don't agree with you on the ammo thing.
Okay.
If you fire 30 arrows, I'm going to go, dude, you got no arrows. But
All right.
the whole, when you're reading The Hobbit, or The Lord of the Rings,
Right.
or this Martin stuff that everyone's so crazy about, that's okay. But when you're
Martin Lawrence?
no,
George R. R.
Oh, I'm sorry.
when you're reading this stuff,
Yes, Martin Lawrence's epic.
do you know
trilogy.
why George R. R. Martin stuff's not as good as Tolkien? Because I don't need to know when Tyrion takes a dump.
Okay.
Okay? You don't need to know certain things.
I disagree.
If you have the provisions, I'm going to say you're eating them. I'm not going to say, well, you got to sit down. No one cares. What,
I
you
don't
gonna
mean that.
roll
that
to see
degree.
if
Just
it's
make
too
sure
hot.
that we have provisions and that.
Of course, I'm going to check
Roll
on that.
for spice level.
You guys are going to get like rot grubs in your arms and stuff.
Ew.
It's going to be rough.
we may even get a venereal disease
Oh, sure.
if we're
Well, sure.
doing things we're not supposed to. I had a character that once
I think
did that.
your character was doing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Last time we played.
Yeah, if you want me to be more, if you want me to make it deadlier than, see, you guys
No,
were
no,
so
no,
inept
no,
last
yeah,
campaign.
No, we definitely don't want
Bring
that.
it on.
You guys were so inept last campaign, you couldn't hit anything.
Yeah.
So, I had to go easy on
I
you
almost
as far-
drowned like 3 times.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
All right, let's. We'll save
All right.
this all for our two-part ceremony. We'll get all back into this again.
P-Train
so
don't
It was
float.
like water with me.
Yeah, that's right.
We did not get along.
hopefully, you guys are interested, D&D fans and newcomers alike. Please, that day is going to be great, and I hope you join us. Moving on, let's talk about some MCU, DCU
Oh, yeah, you
universe
want-
shows.
All right, well, first of all, do you
Makudaku.
want to
Oh.
announce the big news from the MCU,
I'm gonna
which
let-
we're not
I'm
going to...
gonna
Oh, that we're going to go into the sidekick
yeah,
about.
next...
Hold on, before you do that, there's one tidbit. Did you see the Game of Thrones trailer for season?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Now it's interesting
Sorry.
because me and Justin Lane have read all the books. P-Train hasn't read any of the books, so he just follows the show. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of listeners also just follow the shows. So what did you think of the trailer?
was all right. I wasn't blown away.
I find the
honestly.
show boring.
Because me and Justin Lane know what's down the road, so he doesn't.
Yeah.
Here's another.
Though the
interesting
producers
tidbit.
have maintained that they may break from that.
And they'll have to at a certain point because
but-
these books aren't coming.
Right,
They're almost at the
there
end
was a
of it.
thing where they said the show will finish before
Oh, it has
he
to.
finishes it.
Because he just announced that his
Winds of
next
Winter's-
book isn't even coming out.
Yeah, it's
this
not coming
year.
out this year.
He's so going to pull
For
the
those
trigger.
who've been waiting since the 90s for this to finish, it's not coming this
You
year.
can wait a little longer. You're gonna have
The
to wait a
show
little
will
longer.
finish, and people like P-Train will know the outcome, or at least the major outcomes before the people who've been reading since the 90s. So I thought that was interesting and annoying.
But yeah, the big news, which just was announced yesterday in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Spider-Man is going to be appearing in the Marvel Studios movieverse along with the Avengers and all of that. Sony and Marvel Studios have come to an agreement allowing Spider-Man and all of his, related properties to finally appear in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we're going to be having Sidekick about that next Wednesday. So you can
Remind
tune in
new
and
folks
listen to that.
about the Sidekick and just in general.
The Sidekick is our sister podcast. It's a shorter format, about 30 minutes long, and focuses on one particular topic. This week being Spider-Man and his final destination.
Spider-Man, you know why?
Spider-Man.
I don't know where that's coming from.
That was my soul singing out.
He's finally doing it.
and
So
just
we'll talk
in-
about that more Wednesday.
And just a note on the Sidekick. It basically is big topics that have a lot going on with them that, we can't spend time on OFTF.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that we
just
want to
pull
go
it
in
all
depth
onto our
on.
run and
Yeah.
we just geek out about it. Something that's really big, like our rolling ceremony.
All right, let's not talk about the.
Did we talk about the
Okay,
rolling
yeah.
ceremony?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, MCU, DCU.
Yeah, the programs, the television shows. So I guess we'll start with The Flash and Arrow.
Yes, yes. Can we? Which one do you want to start with?
Tell them. Let's
Let's start with The Flash.
Yes,
I
let's.
always start with The Flash, yeah. I always like starting with Flash because it airs first.
because it's fast.
What's that I hear? What's that I hear approaching?
Do you hear something approaching?
Oh yeah, there's definitely something. Oh boy. Ah,
Grodd.
yes.
The
The stinger of this episode.
Sweet Grodd.
The reveal of Gorilla Grodd living in the sewers. He attacks some random workman.
Practicing his writing on the
Yeah,
walls.
He's writing his name on
Yeah.
the walls. But yeah, that's a big. We've been waiting for a while now. He's appeared before on the
Yeah.
show, but this is the first time
but
that
now
we've seen him
he's
in regular
Grodd.
timeline.
Justin's,
Yes.
both of you. Please explain for the people who are not familiar with DC. Who is
Gorilla Grodd is a super intelligent. He's a Flash villain primarily. Super intelligent gorilla with mind control powers.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
probably
awesome.
Flash's
Silly.
most powerful
Yeah.
villain. I would.
He
say.
and the Trickster are Flash's arch nemesis.
Yeah.
So it's like Planet of the Apes, but with mind control powers.
Yeah,
yes, kind of.
but
And,
also
like, more
Heston
intelligent.
could not
Like,
fight.
more intelligent.
He's got real ape strength. Like
Yeah.
he's not. You can't jump behind him and hit him with your two hands like Charlton Heston
Axe
and
to
knock
black
him.
Samuel.
Yeah, exactly, and knock him unconscious.
Or like
this is
Dawn of the
Grodd.
Planet of the Apes for
Yeah,
the today's
he'll rip
viewers.
your arms off and feed him to you, and he's super intelligent.
Yeah. And he has
now
mind
it looks
control
like,
powers.
but it looks like they're going to develop the intelligence and the mind control thing slowly
Over time, because he doesn't see. We didn't hear him. As LTG was saying too, like he was kind of hoping that like Grodd was going to talk.
Well, do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to have him talk telepathically since the
I wonder
mind
that
control
might,
thing?
that might. Yeah.
Well,
it would be cheaper. Number
yeah,
one.
exactly. They wouldn't have to animate.
Yeah.
The
And this is
CGI
why I bring up,
monkey
like, say,
talking.
Dawn of Planet of the Apes. You know
sorry.
how Caesar kind of just got smarter and smarter.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what
That's what
doing.
they'll
Yeah,
probably
I hope so. I think that's great. I want to watch Grodd develop. I'm so excited that they're going there.
Yeah, you knew they would.
Yeah.
I knew they would, but it's happening.
So here's another question: where does he rank in terms of the spectrum of villains on this show? Is he going to be the big?
I think
bad?
he's next season's big bad.
Oh, okay.
Don't
that
you
might
think?
make sense. Yeah, you might
Yeah.
not because Reverse Flash will probably be
Yeah.
the big bad of this season. You would think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's why I'm wondering, because once you introduce Grodd, that he's like that's kind of like the big bad. I would think.
Oh, Grodd! I'm so excited.
It's very exciting. It's very exciting, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
Flash
they have
was
in store.
great. I love Flash. I thought it was great.
Peekaboo is the villain this week. Who is she's a
wait, that was
recent
Nightcrawler
creation. Yeah,
hey,
kind of the same power set. She has the line of sight teleportation too, which LTG and I were talking about what the limitations of that are.
And speaking of that, every now and then I ask a question to P-Train, and I need a thought process that's more than normal. I need
a P-Train of thought.
I need a P-Train of thought about a certain question because it bothers me, and I need something a little bit more. So, P-Train, what's your P-Train of thought about Peekaboo's teleportation
in
power?
regards to the limitations of her power?
Right. So she needs to see where she's teleporting.
Yes.
Say she has a telescope and she's looking at a patch of moon rock on the moon. Yeah. Can she teleport to the moon?
I don't see why she couldn't. Foreseeably, that if she can use that little telescope to teleport in and out of that prison, I don't see why she couldn't use a high-powered telescope to teleport to the moon. I don't know, unless she's wearing like a spacesuit. That would probably be a terrible idea.
Bad idea,
yeah. Right.
But I don't see why she couldn't do that. Now, the other interesting thing comes into if she can teleport by looking at like an image of something on a television, or would that be possible? But I don't think it would be.
No,
I think she'd just teleport.
She'd just go to the
she'd
TV.
just teleport into the TV. And they would like crash into the TV.
Yeah, because that has to go with the whole photon
and
thing, the lights,
the actual line of sight.
So she's more
rods
powerful
and
than
cones.
She's more powerful than Nightcrawler. Then
rods and cones. No, Nightcrawler
has the same
thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But it also
I thought
he had a limit to his distance.
Anywhere he can see in his line of sight.
And the only reason is because he has a mental block, because he doesn't want to materialize inside of something.
Yeah.
So he could teleport to the moon?
He could teleport pretty much. It exhausts him.
It would exhaust him because he goes to the
dark force. He goes to the dark dimension and
then comes back
instantly.
The longer he stays there, the more it would exhaust him upon returning.
For those of you who don't know, Nightcrawler is
Alan Cumming,
a mutant on the X-Men that can teleport.
Yeah. Kurt Wagner.
Or in the movies, he was in X2.
Wolverine affectionately calls him Elf.
I need another P train of thought. This is
similar though.
I gotta have that thought process. When Flash, in all the shows so far, or in a lot of them, when he rescues people, he'll grab them and run with them
and break their necks
at super speed.
What's your P train of thought? What's happening? How are they able to do this?
They should catch fire.
I'm very unclear. And the only reason Flash doesn't is because of some sort of pseudo, and the Speed Force in the comic books. Like he has a barrier around himself that kind of makes it impossible.
But his clothes were catching fire and stuff in early episodes, right?
So
it's kind of it's also like when people in movies or shows skydive. And they don't have any goggles on or anything.
Yeah. And they don't wake up with dry eye.
Also why he doesn't break his hand when he punches somebody at super speed, because of some kind of internal biology that the Flash actually has that minimizes I don't know what the actual force is.
So why do you think the show writers don't catch that?
Because no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares enough. But it is an interesting question. What we were talking about it in terms of when he's carrying Caitlin in this last episode, across the city at super speed, and she's drunk, so he's basically carrying her, dead weight style. And it's interesting because he doesn't have super strength,
right?
So he's really just carrying her. Does the whatever bubble that's around him get transferred to the person?
Sure. So it's like spell jamming.
Yeah.
It's like spell jamming when we did the oxygen bubble on the ship. That's a D&D reference because I'm a nerd.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess it is, but
Second edition.
Justin is right though. It really the answer is that nobody cares enough.
Who cares?
Yeah,
it's a great show.
So maybe when when someone's with them, they share the force field.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Well, that was. There you go. Now we've solved a riddle.
Also, that was the P train.
Yeah, that was a. Wait, what? Oh, P train of thought. Thank you. I'm a little slow today.
Real cool power stunt when the guy shoots him and he catches the bullet right
Yeah.
before it goes in his neck. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
His speed is definitely growing.
Well, they've said that too.
Yeah.
They've said that his speed is growing. The only other one I could think of is he vibrated the door.
The door
for
off,
yeah. But that, whatever. It was great. It was a great episode. It was good. It had a little less of the Weird Joe thing, which has been bothering me.
Oh, we were saying too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that last week. But this week I really liked the interaction with him and his father.
Oh, it's
too.
fantastic.
The scene where he basically says, like, "I know you're the
Yeah.
Flash," and like neither of them really admit it.
Yeah, but it's like,
yeah.
if I could
Just
tell, if
him,
I was the Flash's father,
I
I'd
would
tell him I'm proud of him and I love
Yeah,
him.
it's like,
Yeah, it was
"Aw,
great. Yeah, it was good.
Come on.
No, that was great. That was
was
really great.
All right, Arrow?
Wait, a couple more things though too.
I'm sorry.
So we got the first kind of glimpses of Martin Stein in this episode, and I think next week's Flash is going to bring him in more. Victor Garber is the other half of Ronnie Raymond, and I'm just personally waiting to see how they're going to handle that relationship, which is like two people sharing the same body. So I'm sure we're gonna get like interior monologues where like we'll be in Firespace's headspace, seeing him and Ronnie talking to each other. Firespace.
Firestorm.
Headspace.
Oh.
Firestorm's headspace.
Firestorm's headspace. Firehead's storm space.
Yeah, Firestorm for a very brief time was one of my favorite DC Comics characters.
The Nuclear Man.
Who was quickly supplanted by Blue Devil. But
who has been appearing in
yes,
in,
I
movie
love
posters.
me some Blue Devil. So I think that would be actually I think you could actually pull off a Blue Devil episode.
Yeah,
in
I'm sure.
Flash.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's been appearing on those movie posters in the background.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll probably get to him.
I think that would be brilliant. But really quick, can we address a fan question since we're talking about DC just before we go to Arrow?
Okay.
Sure.
And because we mentioned Nightcrawler Alan Cumming, no relation most likely, but Rebecca Cummings wrote in. This is a Marvel question first, and then we're going to hit DC. Will Deadpool ever be made into a movie, and is he a bad guy or a new good guy? Good in quotation marks.
Well, there is a Deadpool movie. To answer the first part of the question, Fox is producing it. He's an X-Men character, so Fox owns the license.
Right.
Ryan Reynolds, who played Deadpool in Wolverine Origins.
Oh, that was good.
Not a very good movie. And not a very good characterization of Deadpool either in that movie. But he's returning as Deadpool in the new movie. And to answer the other part of the question, he originally was a bad guy when he was introduced in the New Mutants and X-Force. But he has rapidly become a kind of anti-hero.
He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
The merc with a mouth.
And he has he kind of has like Joker does too, like a fourth wall breaking ability. He has like an extra sensory, like he knows he's in a comic book.
Right.
And
She-Hulk did the same
comments
thing.
on it. Like,
She-Hulk did the
time.
same thing when John Byrne was doing She-Hulk. Yeah.
And so he's also become so popular that that's why the Shift has kind of become. He's less of a villain nowadays and more of a quirky anti-hero. And the Merc with the Mouth stuff is really, that's where the character lives. He's a smart ass, and he talks at you like Spider-Man does. That's part of his fighting style. He insults you and like knocks you off your game.
Well, when the character was created, he was a mashup of Deadpool and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I mean, of Deathstroke and
Deathstroke
and which is why his name is
Wade Wilson instead of Slade
And
Wilson.
he appeared in the pages of X-Force fighting Cable, right?
New Mutants originally.
I think
but
so, yeah.
New Mutants swiftly became
it was Rob Liefeld.
Right around that
it was
time.
Rob Liefeld era.
He was much more serious and
he was in his
back
first couple of appearances he was just this like badass who was working for Strife or the Mutant Liberation Front.
Right, the MLF, the MILF.
The MILF.
Now, really quick, Rebecca Cumming also asked. She says, also, I'm not into DC Comics, but what do you recommend to get me into DC Comics? And you'll see why I brought this up at this point in a moment.
Okay. Well, that's a good question, actually. There's a lot. I mean, I don't know if you want to go back all the way to the 60s stuff and stuff like that. I would recommend more modern comics because they're easier to find and easier to probably digest for your your new fan nowadays. One of my recommendations would be the newer version of the JLA when Grant Morrison kicked off. It was just called JLA.
Grant Morrison's the writer.
The writer, yeah. JLA number 1. It was JLA Volume 1, number 1. It was a story called Them by Grant Morrison, and it's basically like the modern day retelling of how the Justice League comes together. It featured the team that they refer to in the comics now as the Magnificent Seven, which is like Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman,
known as the Seven. Also, once you get into this stuff, you'll be able to read Garth Ennis's The Boys.
Yeah.
And you'll see the Seven get spoofed brilliantly.
Martian Manhunter, Aquaman. Yeah, like those characters.
But she mentions that she was raised with the Batman movies, that she's a big fan of the Jack Nicholson Joker. I think one of the things, if you have a basic kind of cultural awareness, one of the ones I would recommend, and I do definitely back up and agree with Justin P-Train's recommendation, but I would say once you get yourself your feet a little bit wet, read Kingdom Come. It's incredible. It is a sort of else future kind of story, and it's a really good introduction for adult readers with more sophisticated story desires.
Yeah, isn't it? It's written by the same team that did Marvel's, I think.
Is it?
Too, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like,
Well, the artist is Alex Ross. The artist, absolutely some of the most awe-inspiring art ever. What about you? Do you have any suggestions?
Well, speaking of Kingdom Come, which is my favorite DC story, I read that the writer used to visit a friend's son who helped him inspire him about the whole story of Kingdom Come.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool. And he kind of worked with him, and he just kept coming over and asking him more and more about his vision about this story. So it's really cool.
One other suggestion I have is, because they can't use Batman, watch Arrow, watch Flash. They're touching on, aside from the big characters you already know about, because everybody knows Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
Watch these two shows, and they're inroducing
a lot
of cavalcade of characters, which is why I wanted to bring it up now, because if we're going to move on to Arrow, I'd like to talk about The Rumor.
Oh, yes, okay.
And
that's why.
And my suggestion to you,
also,
Rebecca, is first of all, you're wrong about the Joker.
He's a Heath Ledger man.
Heath Ledger was so good he died.
Wow.
Rest in peace.
I do, however, think that Michael Keaton was the best Batman.
I do too.
Okay.
Rebecca, what do you think? Who's the best Batman?
Yeah, let's hear your
commenting.
opinion. Yeah, thank you.
I suggest just start with the New 52 Batman.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, isn't that the Court of the Owls stuff too? Wasn't that part of it? Scott Snyder's whole. Did anybody read that?
I don't
Court
think
of the
I did.
Owls. It's apparently like one of the best received like arcs of Batman, the regular Batman title in a long time.
Cool. There you go.
So,
Rebecca, thank you for the
homework.
question. And one of the best things you can do to learn the most about cool comics is just keep listening to us.
That's true.
That's also true.
There you go. So the rumor now onto Arrow.
Okay.
And we brought up Ryan Reynolds, who played Deadpool, but he also played, of course,
Hal Jordan.
Yes. Well, I was actually thinking Hannibal King. No, I'm kidding.
King.
No, he of course played
Is that Burt Reynolds'
Hal
son?
Jordan.
No, it's not. Of course.
No, it's he played the Green Lantern, and now we've heard a rumor
that John Diggle in Arrow may be becoming a Green Lantern in the future of this Arrow TV program that we watch.
Now, if you're not a DC aficionado, one thing you may not know is that for a long time they shared a book, Green Lantern, Green Arrow.
And they were The Brave and the Bold
Yep.
too, which was a DC team up book.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the main characters that usually teamed up in it were Flash and Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
But Green Lantern and Green Arrow was another team that would often pop up in those books. And you were talking about earlier, the dynamic was that Hal Jordan was like the straight-laced, like military test pilot, kind of conservative mentality, and Green Arrow was the bleeding heart liberal,
Right.
save the whales kind of dude, and so it was funny. They were like an odd couple kind of thing.
And those roles are somewhat reversed, I would say,
On the TV show, kind of, yeah.
To a degree.
If you're using Diggle
Right.
as
the Lantern.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it gives us an opportunity for them to do the famous Speedy's on drugs thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Which they kind of did with the Mirakuru last season. But
but
we'll see.
It's I think so. I want to hear your guys' opinions on this because I called this, by the way, a long time ago, and B, I like it, but I don't think it can be a permanent thing.
Yeah, I don't see how Green Lantern right now, the way Arrow is structured, I don't see how he fits in as a weekly character on that show because it's kind of too street level right now. Like Green Lantern is a space cop with a magical power ring. Yeah. So I don't see how.
And when we say power ring, Green Lantern can take on Superman.
Oh yeah,
Green Lantern is
he's incredibly powerful,
intensely powerful character.
He and that's why he and the Flash work so well as a team up group because they kind of are able to stand in for like Superman and stuff like that.
Well, to expand that thought about the power ring, Green Lantern is a member of
the
Green Lantern Corps.
Of the Green Lantern Corps, yes.
It's not just him that has a ring.
The universe is divided into sectors, and each sector has a Green Lantern who uses his power ring to basically manifest his will. So, if he wanted to create a Green Lantern Gatling gun, he could do that. He could, and it would create a construct that would function just like a regular Gatling gun, only using
or a giant boxing glove.
Or a giant boxing glove.
Or a backhoe.
Yeah, pretty much anything that he can think of.
Green Lantern stuff.
Yeah, pretty much anything he can think of, he can will into existence. Like basic stuff too is like shields, like power, like force fields and stuff like that. Basic defensive powers.
Okay, so I also read that they're toying with the idea that he's actually Jon Stewart.
Well,
you don't
but
like that.
I don't like that because it discounts the Jon Stewart character at the same time as making Diggle into something that.
Well, does it really? I'm sorry, guys.
No, I mean he is still a military.
What if it turns out that his mom's maiden name is Stewart?
Yeah,
and he finds out that his dad was a prick, and so he drops the Diggle name.
It could work.
He could be. His backstory is not that.
It's not that dissimilar. Yeah.
But the other side is he could just be accepted into the Lantern Corps based on who John Diggle is.
There's been multiple Green Lanterns.
I would like that take better than him being Jon
He's
Stewart.
noble. He's honorable. He's got the biggest heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see them planting the seeds of it. And it progressing slowly, maybe over dreams or something like that. And maybe as the series finale starts coming, that's one of the things when there's obviously more powerful villains are going to start showing up.
Yeah.
I could see him finally coming together as the Green Lantern at like the whole climax of the whole series. Maybe Flash is there.
You see him disappear, and then all of a sudden he shows up.
On Oa.
Yeah.
No, he all of a sudden shows up and saves everybody.
Yeah. And maybe he gets his own show.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Which would stink because my big note about Arrow this week is Diggle is once again, and I said this last week, Diggle is once again the most interesting character on the show because boy, what have they done to Felicity Smoke?
Yeah, she is becoming.
I don't want to be a woman you love. Yeah. What are they doing? Why are they writing not just her?
And Roy was right. Like when her whole objection to working with Merlin, and Roy gets voted down on it. It's like actually Roy is right, and Oliver comes back and agrees with working with Merlin.
How did Roy get voted down when
I don't know.
Laurel brought it up?
Yeah, she was
so
totally
it was already two, and Diggle
Diggle convinced her to but we didn't see
I had such issues with the writing. Yeah. I mean, I loved the episode, but I had so many issues with the writing. Laurel Lance, the lawyer turned vigilante, the lawyer.
Yeah.
The prosecutor, the assistant district attorney, is taking care of her war wound, while Roy Harper, the street kid, is looking through the legal files for evidence against Brett.
Yeah.
What?
That makes none sense. It makes none sense.
Thea says, oh, Dad, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to fight the League of
you
Assassins.
did.
You did last week.
Yeah, you did last week when you
know
didn't
what?
want to leave town.
And you know
Remember
what?
that?
But
You
the-
said,
but-
like, let's fight. I am not scared of them, is what you said.
But number one, the scene-chewing, broad writing for Felicity, enough.
Yeah.
Enough. I've had it.
Enough.
And that's my enough for the week.
Tonight's enough. No, I completely agree. Yeah, it's getting out of hand. And it feels just so forced. It just
It's bad. It's bad, and she's bad. It's not the actress's fault because we've seen her
it's the
be
writing.
awesome.
Yeah.
What do you guys
It's the
think of
direction they did,
that
yeah.
shared universe moment where the thug says, "Are you that Red Flash we've seen on
Love
TV?"
it.
I love stuff like
Love
that.
stuff
and I
like
like
that.
I like too when Felicity was like reading news about him a couple weeks ago.
Boy, you know what was really cool was, did we see the fighting prowess of Wildcat or what?
Yeah,
and is he
got
dead?
it.
So-
I hope not. I really hope not.
What happened?
But he was like,
Real
he was
quickly.
doing like the death gurgle
Yeah,
kind of.
like
Real
you're
quickly,
going to be okay.
Who-
You're a good liar.
Who is Wildcat, real quickly?
Ted Grant.
Ted Grant. He's
done
a
this.
member of in the
Just
comics.
for new people.
He's a member of the Justice Society, which was a precursor to the Justice League, made up of Golden Age.
Okay, and
heroes.
what's this guy's deal? Why is
He's
he
just a
bad?
boxer,
He's
basically.
he's
but
like
he's
a
a
boxer,
street enforcer.
He's a boxer and in
A
sort
vigilante.
of a lot of it inspired by the Timverse cartoon.
But obviously he has to
But
be
they've
more
kind
than a
of
boxer.
he's supposed to be a supreme hand-to-hand combatant.
Okay.
He is just a regular dude.
But he is a boxer.
Right.
But the idea is that he's like a
Doesn't have
venerable
superpowers.
hand-to-hand combatant.
Yeah.
Like he taught Batman how to fight a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Black Canary.
Yeah.
Well,
What's the name of the character? Richard Dragon, the martial artist who he's supposed to be the supreme martial artist.
Oh, yeah, something like
And
that.
he's beat on Batman a bunch
Yeah.
of times. They had a list of like which martial artists are better than
So
Batman.
this basically
Lady Shiva would be up there.
yeah,
too.
yeah, she is. She was trained by Richard Dragon.
So this begs the question: are we seeing a transformation into Wildcat? 'Cause
I
he's
think
clearly-
that would be interesting.
Maybe.
Or is he Wildcat now and he's just sucks? And
I
got
think
his
he
ass
already
beat by a
was
no-name?
Wildcat, though.
I think because the idea is that
when they
they're doing the
introduced him-
over-the-hill version of Wildcat.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
When they introduced him, he was, remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, he was out there being
He had
a vigilante.
retired being a
And he
vigilante.
already has the nickname Wildcat.
Because he's supposed to train Laurel Lance, he got his ass handed to him. So now what's
Now who knows?
Laurel Lance with her nightstick.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's terrible. I don't like it at all. It annoys
Yeah.
me.
I like that he was, like, chipping into the fight. I didn't like how he kind of got his ass
Because
handed
Diggle
to
did
him.
better.
Yeah.
Well,
One-on-one.
Diggle, yeah, Brick had to run from Diggle, right? Because,
Yeah.
but you know, that's who knows. I mean, I don't know what happened there.
No.
All right. Hey, did you guys also hear about this? About how Stephen Amell in an interview recently was talking about the Lazarus Pits, and he said we've already seen one of them,
Huh?
and so people are now remembering the moment too that I noted the first time we saw Raish, and he steps out of.
Oh,
that
sure,
pool
yeah,
of
yeah, that's
water.
right, that's right, that's right.
So
yeah, yeah.
So now everyone's thinking maybe that he was referring to that. That's where we saw it.
Right.
Maybe
Probably,
Raish
yeah.
built Nanda Parbat around
That makes
a Lazarus
sense.
pit.
Sure.
And yeah, so but confirmation in the interview itself that the Lazarus pits do exist. on Arrow.
Well, Ross
And,
does say he does give
60
dialogue that he's ancient.
Yeah, the 60. That I haven't fought someone that tough in like 60-70 years
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
and
something
he
like
looks like he's 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh, he's
Yeah.
supposed to be ancient.
it's definitely going to come out. And then someone else also mentioned too, if you've been, because we still don't know how Merlin came back from
right.
the dead.
Well, Merlin implied that he faked being dead.
yeah.
That he slowed down his heart and all that kind of
But
stuff.
someone else noticed too that all season long this season, when he's in his Black Arrow getup,
Uh-huh.
he's wearing. There's an ampule around his neck that has some kind of green liquid in it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh.
which is interesting.
Interesting.
I don't know if that will go anywhere. If that's just a little like piece of flair. that
I'm enjoying.
the costume
I'm enjoying
department-
Malcolm Merlin quite a bit.
Me too. I think, and the flashback that they gave.
Yeah.
Of
Humanize
him,
the character.
Oh, so
Yeah,
much.
really
And
much.
John Barrowman is
Love him.
he's a great actor.
Yeah.
He's one of the.
Loved
they should
him
write
since,
to him more.
I've loved him since
Doc-
The
Doc-
Empty Child.
And yeah, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All right, let's
And Torchwood, obviously.
And Torchwood, obviously. Yeah.
We got a lot to cover, so let's quickly move through this.
Pants.
If anyone listening wants to hear more about Arrow, just write in the questions and we'll get to them if we leave things out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I realize that some listeners don't watch these shows, and some watch maybe 2 of them, don't really care about the others. we don't want. If you'd like to listen to it, great. But you don't have to sit through and listen to something about Arrow if you don't watch the show, don't care about the show. You can just skip ahead to the best parts. But if you're new to it and you're interested, please do.
I recommend people check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Moving on, Carter.
Agent Carter.
Agent Carter.
Yeah.
Which you said you liked a lot.
I said, I thought this was the best episode they've had so far, and I think
agree.
largely that has to do with the amount of action. It was ramped up. The Howling Commandos, even though it was really only one Howling Commando. Actually, technically, comic book wise, there were more, but in terms of the Howling Commandos, the original ones we saw in Captain America: The First Avenger, only Dum Dum Duggan was in this episode. But anytime Neil McDonough appears as Dum Dum Duggan, I'm all for that. I like that character as he is in the comics, and I like how Neil plays him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe too. So, and I'm still thinking that it might be possible that he's the man that she ends up marrying too. Okay, because she mentions in Winter Soldier, when we're looking at the film reel footage that Cap's watching at the Smithsonian. Yeah, she says that the man she eventually marries was rescued by Captain America in scene where he rescues the Howling Commandos in First Avenger.
Yeah, and Peggy Carter kind of comes into her own, and
she really does.
Puts her
like Thompson freezes in that one.
Puts
scene,
her colleagues to shame.
He saves her, and then when she jumps into the back of the truck, and she's
Well,
like a big hero moment.
When they didn't want to send her because she was a woman, and then she starts like busting out all her skills and abilities, and then we get to kind of see
being like the most badass member on the team, other than Duggan, kind of. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and their relationship together, like how
the group
have a kind of shorthand with each other.
The group of detectives she works with, was putting her down, and they almost didn't bring her, and she said, "Well,
and
she
completely saved Thompson's butt in that one scene too. He froze, and then there's I loved the scene too where he confesses that the only reason that he's a war hero and everything is because he shot a group of soldiers that was trying to surrender, and he buried the flags that no one found out about, and he's never told anybody that, but he admits it to Peggy, and it kind of goes a ways to humanize and kind of face that Thompson character too, Agent Thompson. So I like that. I liked the Black Widow program stuff.
Yeah. And, really cool.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Dottie being the next door neighbor, who we kind of saw that was going to happen.
Western Union.
Yeah. I like the Black Widow stuff too, though, and the Leviathan and their connection to it. What about when she was in Peggy's apartment and she was kind of like pretending to be Peggy? Did you guys catch that little moment where she's like looking into
I think
the
it's almost like a method acting kind of
to get into her
it's profiling.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. So, like I said last podcast, last FTF. Agent Carter, it's cool. When do I get my shield back?
Yeah.
When do I get Clark Gregg
March
to
3rd,
wrap his strong, sinewy arms around me and tell me it's going to be okay? So,
Agent Coulson, Director Coulson.
Yeah. So no, it was good. Gotham, of course.
Yeah, March 10th.
March 10th.
March 10th. I thought it was 3rd.
I don't know.
That would be a week earlier.
I have March 10th.
Because there's 7 days.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. I heard March 10th.
Well, I bet you there'll be an episode on March 10th.
Yeah, there probably.
Maybe we'll get a bonus one a week early.
So Gotham.
Yeah, let's move on.
The last episode was kind of the birth of the Scarecrow.
Yes.
And it goes into
the kid is the Scarecrow.
Next
the son is the Scarecrow.
Jonathan Crane.
Right.
His father, Gerald Crane, though, apparently in this universe is the one who develops the drug.
Right. His son keeps his good work going, kind of thing.
Yeah.
No, it was
legacy.
Good. I thought it was a Bullock-centric episode, and so therefore I liked it. I liked the idea that he was very into just smitten right away and was all about
Oh yeah, that
trying
was
to
great.
score the chick.
That was
and
great.
I thought that was fantastic.
And she didn't
He even-
take any of his guff. Too.
Yeah,
she
and
she called him an asshole.
Yeah,
He was like,
don't be an
"Excuse me?"
ass. Don't be an ass.
Yeah, like that's that's the way to Bullock's heart.
I love the line to Gordon. If she turns out not to be the perp, I think I'm in.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was great. No,
And at the same time, kind of contrasting to James and Leslie
and yes,
and their budding relationship.
And I can watch Penguin maneuver all day. Love it. Loved the whole tension in the cabin. That was the same.
So
episode,
now
right?
that he's clearly kind of taking over Fish Mooney's establishment too. Will that become the Iceberg Lounge?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yep. Yeah, no, Gotham good. Gordon didn't annoy me. There was no Barbara, right? So,
No Barbara, no.
Yeah, so good episode. No Ivy.
And Julian Sands is the actor who plays Gerald Crane. Too,
Oh my God, that was Julian Sands. I didn't
right?
recognize it.
Yeah.
That is
He's
awesome.
awesome. He's another
Julian
great
Sands,
character.
great character actor, Witchboard,
Warlock.
Arachnophobia, Warlock,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Great character actor.
He was
Awesome.
Jor-El on Smallville as well.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him at all. He's sort of the he was sort of the proto who played Malfoy.
Oh, Jason Isaacs?
Yeah, he's sort of the proto Jason Isaacs. So yeah, very cool casting.
Does anything about the show pop out to you guys, comic book geek wise, power wise, anything just cool comic related?
No, nothing much this episode.
no,
I thought it was
Scarecrow.
a more like
It was a more procedural episode, and I like that
episode.
about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except for Nigma. Enigma, please, enough with Nigma.
Well,
Enough.
Nigma and Penguin are going to be meeting in the next episode.
They showed
as
that
well.
very arch look between the two of them. Whatever.
And also in a preview for not.
You okay there?
I'm trying to think of how to word it because it's not this week's, it's not next week's, it's the 2 weeks after that. There's a heavy implication that we're going to get the Joker.
Oh, they've been teasing us with that.
I know. But you see, they say like on the preview they say the next like we've already seen Penguin, Riddler, Scarecrow. The next villain in Gotham is no joke, and then they show this little kid looking up all menacing.
Oh well, that's cool. If he's a kid, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Then I'm all right with it. Okay,
because then he would be a direct
contemporary
parallel
of
to
Bruce. Okay, then I'm fine with it. I did think real quick. I thought Alfred was kind of a dick to Gordon for no reason.
Yeah, he was.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
He means Richard.
Yeah.
No, I meant a dick.
Yeah.
We have a parental advisory
Oh, that's right.
Sticker.
explicit. So
No, we can.
He means phallus. Then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Dog and
wrap up
Wolves.
the little.
Yeah, I
Any other
think that's,
casting news? Enter the general comic cinematic universe news.
Not that I can think. I think we covered
Okay, cool.
everything.
So that
You
was-
don't want to
that
wax
was the
poetic about your love for Constantine this week?
No, I haven't watched the newest episode.
See?
We don't blame you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold against you. If there's a demand for us to watch it and talk about it,
I mean,
we will. If you want to go ahead and talk about it,
I'm
if you've
gonna
seen
watch
it
it.
at home,
I'm gonna watch.
I don't know about you,
Constantine.
LTG, but his
just haven't
profession of a newfound love for Constantine last week kind of stumped me. You know what that makes me think of?
What's that?
I think we should stump the P train.
Oh boy.
You want to do that now?
I think we should right now.
Okay.
You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so this week's Stump the P Train is a trivia game. It's the Stump the P Train trivia game, and
Yay.
I'm going to name data for three vessels.
Lieutenant Commander Data?
Three vessels of geek stardom,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have to tell me what the vessel is.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with an easy one,
Okay.
especially considering what you just said. NCC-1701.
The USS Enterprise.
Right, the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
Very good.
Nerd.
Now, here we
It says
go.
on the top of the thing all the time.
Type 40 Mark 1.
The Millennium Falcon?
No.
No.
You get another try on that. I'll give you a hint.
Oh wait, the TARDIS.
Yes, it is. It is the TARDIS. Yeah. Very good. And now, are you ready?
Yeah.
Model YT-1300.
Man.
Light freighter.
Oh. Is that the Millennium
Yes, it
Falcon?
is. Very well done. Very well done. Manufactured by the Corellian Engineering Corporation. Very good. That was very good. I'm impressed. Do you have one for him?
I do, and even if you don't get mine, I say you still win because that was impressive.
Yeah, that was
we'll grant
very
you the victory
impressive.
this week early.
The polling. I didn't think he'd get the TARDIS. I'm very impressed.
So
I didn't have to
do
say
some
broken
kind of celebration
chameleon
for P-Train. He
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
bested us, even if he gets mine wrong.
Okay.
Let's go to the Marvel Universe.
Oh boy, my favorite.
Let's go to one of your favorite characters, Spider-Man.
Okay.
Now, one of Spider-Man's favorite science heroes is Max Modell.
Okay.
Which company does he run?
Oof.
Oh.
It's getting a little hot under the collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
It's not Modell Sporting Goods.
Roxxon? No, that's no.
You're on the right. It's keep going. I'll give you a few. I'll give you 10 more seconds.
No.
Max Modell.
Advanced Idea Mechanics? No. Damn it, I don't know.
That was a good guess though, because of the MODOK.
yeah,
I
I thought
Go
it
ahead.
might be MODOK.
I didn't get it either.
Horizon Labs.
I don't know.
Employee of Michael Morbius. And,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
The living
Otto
vampire.
Octavius
Yeah.
has been a science
Yep.
member for Horizon Labs.
Oh, okay.
Morbius
That's a
went
good
there to try to
question.
cure
Yeah.
his vampirism.
Yeah.
Spider-Man
But I
worked
would-
on his spider armor there.
Oh, okay.
I technically say he went 3 out of 4 this week.
No, he
Is he-
wins it.
Yeah,
easily
that was
this week,
that
'cause
was
that was
great.
impressive.
Yeah, very impressive.
My,
That's
I
a good
thought
question.
you would have gotten mine, but
Yeah.
I thought he would. I told you. I thought he would get that.
Yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
the boy who
no,
lived.
it's okay. You still win.
I'll live to fight another day.
You get a one for the fans T-shirt.
Yes,
We'll send it to you.
Yeah, we'll send it to you.
Give
It
us
says
your information.
it's a Thaco T-shirt. I still want to make those. Okay, so very good. Good Stump the P-Train. Now where are we at?
Let's go to one of my favorite segments, the Versus segment.
Oh, sure.
We got a special versus for you. We don't always bring these every week. We'd like to.
Well, they require research and time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and by the way, Versus is every bit as much for you guys as it is for us. We want to hear your opinions because
Please
we know a
weigh
lot
in.
of you don't agree. So weigh in, put us to school if we're wrong about something, if we've left things out. Without further ado, this week's Versus is the World Devourer Galactus
Okay.
versus Avatar Aang from The Last Airbender.
It's interesting.
That's what I said.
Now-
too.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to go on
The four nations.
knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, the
Galactus.
four nations are just having their peace. The Fire Nation isn't being cranky anymore, and so they finally settled into their peace. And there's a giant shadow coming over the whole of the planet, centering in Ba Sing Se, which is pretty much the capital city.
Yes. Okay.
Galactus is saying, you know what, this place is ripe. There's a lot of energy going on. There's the nature is full bloom. This is a perfect planet for me to feast on. The nations are summoned, the council summoned, and in total fear, Aang, of course, looks up, freaks out, and in doing so, wakes up the Avatar state.
Okay. So that's an important distinction.
Yes. Now, for those who don't know, Justin, do you feel comfortable talking about the Avatar state and capabilities? Both of you?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just surprised you didn't go Avatar Dragon Ball Z. To be honest with you.
yeah.
I was, and I'll say why.
Super Saiyan over level
Because
9,000.
it's a very because it would have been a really popular thing to do that.
Yeah, no, I like that you
Yeah.
you went.
And I kind of like the idea. What if Galactus hovered over the
Yeah.
four nations? How would
and in
the
a way,
Avatar
Galactus
respond?
is kind of an avatar
Yeah.
himself.
Well, he's
in a way.
he's a cosmic force of the universe.
He's the,
entropy.
he's the
'Cause
construct.
I
of,
wanted
yeah.
the whole planet as a whole to be in jeopardy.
Yeah.
And
They actually also kind of have a similar kind of genesis too. I mean,
Yeah.
he was just a normal. He was Galen.
Galen,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
He
and
was an
just-
explorer.
Yeah.
Galactus,
Yeah.
we're speaking
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good
And
question. That's a
he
very
was
good
the
versus.
he's the last remaining thing from the previous.
Yeah, he's the last being
Universe.
from the previous.
Being so old, he was alive before the Big Bang
Yeah.
of the 616.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my first knee-jerk reaction is to say Galactus.
Well, first, let's go over what the Avatar is capable of.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because we know, for those of you who don't know Galactus, we just kind of mentioned,
Yeah.
just to give you an idea, the dude's been alive before the Big Bang.
Yeah. And his job is to go around
He's the world devourer.
devouring
He
worlds.
literally devours all of the resources, the energy,
Yeah.
everything, and goes from planet to planet to sate his hunger.
And he's kind of like
He's a cosmic
he's a-
level entity.
but he's also a mechanism of entropy, or
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
when
He is a
when
force of nature
When a civilization
on a
gets
cosmic
too ripe,
Yeah.
Galactus comes around and harvests you and kind of sets the balance back.
Here's my only concern here is I don't know if you've realized you set yourself up for a spoiler issue here because you don't know Korra yet.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
Okay, you are. And
I just
okay.
started, and she's
How far into it are you?
just started.
Because Aang becomes a big part of Korra.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say okay. So let's go over Aang.
That's why I didn't
Okay.
use Korra, because I haven't done it.
Okay.
I know Aang, so.
But we might
Right.
we might blow something up for you here. That's what
Accidentally,
I'm
yeah.
trying to make sure. I'm trying to see where you would be. You just started Korra.
Yeah, so, well, let's just say this. At its current where the whole Avatar thing is, how many avatars are there? 7, 8?
I don't remember.
I don't know
I don't
that.
remember
Okay.
that.
Well,
It's
anyway.
been
I think
it's
they've
been a
left it
while
open
since
to add more anytime. Earth, air, airbender, firebender, earthbender,
Waterbender.
waterbender, energy bender,
metal bender.
metal. Yeah, they can add more whenever they want, but I think there's 7. I
But
think
he
it is
means in
7.
terms of the
The
avatars.
avatars themselves.
There's like a number of them, and they've actually in Korra they do show you
Yeah.
the whole pantheon
Right.
at
In-
one time.
so
she
a
like
ben-
meets
so a-
with all of them,
A bender is declared an avatar, and he is reincarnated into the.
and they have the
avatar.
ability to bend all 4
Right. And
basic elements.
you get the experiences and abilities of each avatar who
before
preceded you.
And when you go into the avatar state,
Right.
it's like a gestalt,
Yeah.
kind of. You cease to be yourself, and you become the embodiment of yourself and every other avatar
So
that has come
why
before you.
why I choose Aang, because I haven't finished Korra, and this is why I chose Aang. He now possesses all the abilities and wisdom of all the
everybody
avatars
else.
that came before him in this one state.
Yeah, I think
So that's interesting.
I think
And Aang is able to go into the spirit state and into the physical realm, which is something Galactus can't do.
Yeah.
I think
What if he was able to pull
here's
Galactus into that realm?
here's I'm gonna
Well, he's able. He's
But
also
would
able
Galactus
to.
be vulnerable?
He's also able to.
that's where I was about to go.
Yeah.
As we saw, he's able to take your powers in the
Yeah.
avatar form.
But
he
that
can
too.
cease your
But
abilities.
no,
and your
he's able to
powers.
take your
Bending.
elemental
Your bending. Which Galactus doesn't have.
See, here's my thing. Aang's powers are based on the elements.
Right. Yeah.
Galactus is about to eat
Eat
those
the elements,
very
those very
elements
elements.
that his powers are
Yeah.
based on.
He could drain
So
your
I think
connection.
it's a great question.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a heroic stand up to Galactus, but I think Galactus
I
pretty
think
much
he pretty much-
ignores
I think
him
he has the
and
upper hand.
devours the very
Essence.
world
Yeah.
that Aang manipulates.
Yeah.
And I
Even
think
though-
it's
And
over.
it would probably
Even
weaken
though-
Aang as he's doing
The
that.
energy bending is the one thing
That might be able to-
Yeah,
Even though Aang can go, you harness the spirit world and actually like the
That's why
spirit
I
of
was-
water,
yeah.
the spirit of the moon, that he's actually able to harness.
I don't.
those-
see, I don't see
but those
Galactus
spirits
being
would be
affected
weakened
by the
by-
spiritual realm.
Galactus's devoured.
Yeah, yeah, because these are the energy bending is the one thing
Right,
that
but
I
Aang
think
was
is
able
an
to
issue.
physically manifest those spirits.
I agree. I understand where you're
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
from, but see, Galactus.
I
has
don't
gone
see that
from planet
harming
to
him.
planet, devouring the
And
spirits
the only
of every
the only
planet.
way that Reed Richards and the Four defeated him was with the
Ultimate
the
Nullifier.
ultimate nullifier, which is the
Right.
best MacGuffin of all time.
Yeah.
It's basically the
I mean, they
the
named
threat,
it the
The
ultimate.
threat was I'm just going to kill everything.
Yeah.
and so that was how they defeated him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah.
threat of like utter annihilation.
Yeah.
So you think even with him
I-
being able to tap into all the avatars before him for help and wisdom? And,
I think that it would be a valiant struggle, and I think that what's interesting about it, if he were to, you know how Aang's sort of a reluctant hero, he kind of gets thrust into this role. I think the fact that Galactus reluctantly does what he does, I think it would be less about powers and more about actually communicating with him and convincing him to move
Yeah,
on
to
to
move
another
on.
world.
Well, that's-
I think it would be more of a personal.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is there with all the wisdom, is there a way that Aang can do this without having to
actually
defeat
fight him?
To
I
just
think
stop
that would be the only way. Would be to
because
appeal.
they're both great forces of nature.
Yes,
ultimately.
and I think that would be the only way he could do it. But then I think
also he would be like Galactus might be tempted to make him a herald.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happens. Like I had Fire Lord, I had Terrax.
Yeah.
Now I got them all.
Now I got them all.
Yeah,
I can do it. Yeah.
Right. So
and, Air Rider.
I'll say that. Okay, I'll
Gabriel Lamb.
now we go for a winner. I say it's a compromise. I say that Avatar stops Galactus.
He says, "I spare your
and
world, but
if
you're
you
my
become-
new herald."
But you're my herald.
Which
I
is
think
what he
that's
did.
Probably what would happen.
So he's the new Norrin Rad.
Yeah.
That's what he
so
did.
now
to-
he has the Avatar state as his herald.
His herald, yeah.
You know what? I would be a
That
great
would be a
Earth
great
and
story.
air
That
and
would
fire
be
and
a
water
great
swirling all around him.
crossover limited series graphic novel.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
I think we figured it out.
And
I
you
think
guys
that's
are-
it.
Copyright
What's your verdicts?
So I think-
Fanbased Network.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here
Here,
first.
here first.
So yeah, I think that was a good versus. I think we kind of.
So what's
solved
your
it.
everyone else's verdict?
I agree with you. We all
No,
kind
I
of
think
came to
that's
that
what
together.
came
I think
together.
we all kind of came to that together.
Uh,
but if people out there think
yeah,
that Galactus
please,
just goes "Shut up, flea," and
Yeah.
sucks the
Yeah.
Earth dry,
Or he's
then-
not worthy of being
Yeah.
a herald, let us know, because I know people aren't going to agree. I know there's some huge Avatar
See, I thought you were going to
fans.
go like Aang versus Piccolo or something like
Well,
that.
like I said,
you
it
know.
was too easy to Avatar versus
Is it
Dragon Ball.
Goku?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I
that would be,
wanted to
that
go
would be
off the
boring.
path.
This was
Yeah, no,
wanted
this
to-
was interesting. This is
I wanted two different kind of
we got
worlds.
metaphysical on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I spit on you?
it
So
was a
people,
fly or something.
commenters have at it. Tell us we're wrong. Agree with us. Maybe a new scenario we haven't thought of, or maybe people who know more about the Avatar state could say, "Hey, you forgot about this
Forgot
element,
about
this
this,
element."
yeah.
and
If
how
there's
powerful
any
he may
benders
really
out
be.
there,
Yeah.
Please let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
The last
I like
pod
that. Was
bender.
fun. That was fun.
Yeah, very good. Very good versus.
I don't have it. Also, if people commenting have an idea
Maybe
for
suggest
verses,
for
put it
Yes,
in.
another week.
please.
Or,
We'll pick
give
the
us-
best one.
Please,
and
we
we'll
would
feature it.
love for that. That would be fantastic. And by the way, whatever I end up saying is right.
And it doesn't have to be based on comics or cartoons. It could be science fiction. It could be pop culture, like
The only thing I ask you to leave out is sports figures, because
That would-
between the
that's
three
just-
of us,
yeah.
it would get ugly.
That's that. Yeah, that's not.
well, Michael
interesting.
Jordan wins all.
Let's
so.
try
Sure.
to keep it to
Okay.
fictional characters.
Yeah, fictional characters only, please. So you can't say Stallone, but you can say John Rambo.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be good.
yeah.
Okay.
Someone's
Cool.
again with the phone.
All right.
Every
So
week.
that concludes this week's verses.
I think that might wrap up our OFTF for the
Yeah,
week.
quickly.
I think
Do you guys
so. Yeah,
have
I don't
any?
think I don't have anything.
Any
else.
video games? News?
There's this game. There's
Or
this
same
game
as last
called
time?
Same
Skyrim.
as last time.
You told us. You
I-
say it every
We
single
say
time.
it every time.
Eventually, you guys are gonna start trying other games.
Yeah, I still
I
haven't
will-
played the DLCs.
I
for
will say
Skyrim.
I saw an ad. I think it was during Gotham. There was an ad for a game. It looked like some sort of
Skyrim.
Caius worm lord thing was attacking, and it was about are you a puppet or are you your own man? Did you see this?
No,
this
no.
ad? I got to look it up. I got to go back on the DVR and look it up. But there was a game that I was like, ooh, that looks like something I might play, because it looks like it's a little Lovecraftian.
Oh,
kind
Evolve.
Evolve.
Is that what it's
I
called?
think it is. It has like
Okay.
a big like Lovecraftian creature like
Yeah.
Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Have you ever
it's
played
one
Left 4
character
Dead?
plays as him.
Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be based like that.
Oh,
you
that-
choose
but
some kind
so
of
it's just about survival.
well
survival horror?
One player
it's
plays as the
PvP.
monster.
You choose to be
And
the
then
people,
four-
or you choose
and
to be
then
the
the other
monsters
three
Oh, I
and
like
take
that.
on each other.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like.
So you
that.
get all the powers of the crazy monsters, but then you get the cool techie stuff.
You get
of
like the nail
humans.
board and the shotgun.
Well, this is all. But have you seen?
This is more
the-
like Halo style.
Have you seen the
or-
heroes?
or,
Yeah, they have
yeah.
like souped
Destiny,
up, like
so
powerful
yeah.
weapons.
and they probably have classes and stuff.
oh, I'd still if I have an opportunity to play a Cthulhu type character, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there's all different types.
No,
so
sweet,
no,
sweet.
it's the big game that's coming, and
Okay.
that's
So
what I was going to
Microsoft,
mention. So
I
that's
think,
cool that you
developed
said
it.
that. yeah.
Okay, yeah, awesome. I'm
People
excited.
People are really excited.
I'm
about
excited. I got to finish Skyrim so I can play that.
it. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
And I was going to get into some board game talks because I know people want that
Ooh,
too.
board
I remember
games.
what was
But
the
we're gonna say-
Lovecraftian game we played that
Call of
one
Cthulhu?
time? No, it was I forget.
No,
what
that
it
was with
called.
Micah.
Micah's place. Were you there? I don't.
No,
I
he
don't
No,
know.
you guys
I
told
think-
me about it.
Yeah, it was really
Um,
fun.
yeah.
I forget what it was called.
I don't remember what that was called.
I don't know. We'll talk about it next time.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring up board games again. We already brought up D&D, but I wanted to talk about and something you can think about for next week. for
Axis
people
and
at
Allies.
home. What was your favorite board game?
Risk. Done.
Well, we'll do this next week.
Okay.
And give people time to chime in. Also,
If you don't
what
agree
your
that my
favorite one is.
favorite board game of all time is Risk, write in. Oh, are we including chess though? No, we're talking about board.
Nah, like a board
for
game.
a rule set. Yeah,
rule
risk.
set.
Risk.
And maybe games that you always
None of this
wanted to
fruity
try and never
castle
got into.
risk. None of this
Yeah, not
European
choots
risk.
and ladders.
Yeah.
Okay, none of
Chotes.
that.
Chotes.
But
and
if really
scrotums.
that's your game, go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
We won't judge you on.
Yes, we will.
We won't judge you on the comments. Just in our heads, we'll judge.
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Silently,
All
judge you.
right. That's it.
So that's
We're
it.
out of here.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Thanks for listening.
And don't forget to listen to the Sidekick on Wednesdays.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah,
Sidekick
Sidekick
on
coming
Wednesday.
tomorrow, and it's gonna.
Oh
be
no.
Well,
This is
that one will
Friday.
air. This will air Friday.
This is Friday.
This Friday, but the
Wednesday.
The one.
Wednesday
the
we'll be
sidekick
talking.
after this will be the Spider-Man
Yes.
MCU.
Yes.
Right.
They've already listened
They
to
already will have listened
the
to
other
hopefully,
Sidekick.
to
the
Secret
616
Wars
Battle World.
they will have, but
They
they,
will.
Yes.
haven't yet.
Yes, they
Not yet.
have by the time they hear
the time
this
they hear
because
this,
we're
they
recording
will.
this the day before.
Oh,
it
I
drops.
I forgot because sometimes
like-
I get my time machine.
It's
I
like-
come to the
You're in
future.
your
It's like
TARDIS.
T2.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I exist all across the spectrum at
Sarah
once.
Connor.
I'm in my avatar state. All right.
So yeah. Thanks
All
for
right.
joining us, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Peace.